Da 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 da. Oh, did y'all hear me yelling from the office? I heard a cat messing with stuff. Ad starts in a minute and 47 seconds, so let's pop in. Let's get live. Shut off this music. Oh, actually, I'm gonna check on the oven first. I'm toasting bread cubes again to use Thursday or maybe before if I decide to if I decide to stuff the pumpkin as maybe a side dish, because now we have a guest for Thanksgiving. My friend Beth came out. We had a bonfire the other night, and she didn't have plans for Thanksgiving dinner. Her family, just immediate family kind of lives far and stuff. So I was like, well, you can come here. So this whole setup has to go away for Thursday. I mean, I probably would have done that anyway, just for me and my husband and son that still live here. So today I'm making, I'll try this intro quick before the ad, chocolate pecan pie. Oh, and I also want to thank Hands Sanitizer, our new sub. I know I have a goal there from an old thing that says I'm looking to get 13. I think that's when I was using Streamlabs, and it was a random number. But I'll talk about that when I get back. Today, chocolate pecan pie with the crust we made yesterday. Yeah. Gross. Okay. I'm gonna have to get more other chocolate. Got crumbly. Do. Am I to know we're back? I guess it'll tell me. Gracious, I don't like that much. Let me go get my phone so I can look at the stream from another point of view. Oh, no. Here we go. Minute and a half. Okay. This is the most delicious pie in the world. That's what it says right here in my cookbook page. Got a minute 9. Check. I don't want to burn the bread this time. I burned it last time. Do. Try not to do anything ahead. I guess I'm anxious. So you're ready to go. And I know y'all on YouTube are not seeing the ads, but they were happening on Twitch, and I don't want to leave people out. I'm not prepared to set up a whole game thing. So usually I just do another tip or trick. I don't think you have any of those today that aren't going to be part of the recipe to make it easier for you. Like, the only reason this is here today, spray oil, is to measure and pour my corn syrup without it sticking. Okay, I guess we're back. Hi. Okay, so according to my cookbook, this is the most delicious pie in the world. I mean, there are other pies I've learned. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. Have you made the my version of butternut squash soup yet for your mom? My friend is in the chat here. I know she was gonna. So I make this pie at Thanksgiving and usually also at Christmas, and sometimes I make it for my husband's birthday, although there's a specific cake I invented that he likes, but we seem to like it better than cake in my house for the most part. And it took me a long time to get this recipe, so I'll get started and then I'll tell you about that. Oh, I think I've mentioned before. The first thing is going to be to melt the chocolate. Now, I have to make my own when I want chocolate pecan pie because I don't know what the deal is. You would think in the South they'd have all kinds of great chocolate pecan pie, but I got here and I got some at a, pardon me, break this, farmer's market even, and it was just a pecan pie that somebody threw some chocolate chips in. No, it's not what we're doing. So what we need is 2 ounces of chocolate. This is unsweetened baker's chocolate. The generic brand works fine. It used to come in like 1 ounce or ½ ounce things. These are each a 1/4 ounce, each of these little segments. So we need, I just cut it so it's in, you don't have to shave it up or anything, but the amount we want, this is 2 ounces. Well, the original recipe says 2 1-ounce squares. And we're going to just melt that on like medium-low heat. And you want to keep stirring it with 3 tablespoons of butter, which I'll put in just so it spreads around easily. In 1 tablespoon increments. Well, not increments, because I'm putting it in all at once. I'm not farting around and adding a little bit at a time. This is the part that makes this pie exceptional compared to any other recipe I've had. I do have a Hershey's cookbook I got in all the donated cookbooks that has one that uses cocoa powder, and I am curious about it, and I'm going to at some point attempt it. But right now, my friend Leanne, some of you know her, has already ordered her pie. She gets one at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I think if I made them all year, she would just buy them. She is in love with this pie, and she's already sent me payment, so I gotta get this done. And I made the 2 pie crusts yesterday, so the other one's gonna be for my family. I haven't gotten any more orders yet this year. So we just melt this together, and even though the filling has corn syrup and sugar that you boil together in it, I really find it makes a difference, because I tend to like things that are not, sweets that aren't insanely sweet, and like I could only even have a little tiny bit of pecan pie, regular pecan pie, now and again, but starting with this unsweetened chocolate really sets it off, so it tastes like chocolate, not just like sugar, and really takes well. I like to put fresh whipped cream on it as a garnish. So letting it melt, I do have to check my bread that I'm toasting. Oh yeah, perfect. Smells great. Hooray! I didn't burn the bread cubes this time. Sometimes you get to multitasking, right? Like I've got chili on the stove right now that I made today, just because I had a green pepper that had to get used, and I do put a green pepper in my chili, and that's gonna be nice because that's another Fletcher won't eat it, Rob won't eat it. So we're gonna get this all incorporated. This is while, oops, pardon the noise, that's still going. Let's get our main filling ingredients, there we go, put in. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is corn syrup. It does use 1 cup corn syrup. I have used recipes that don't use corn syrup. I tried some. They're kind of like a shoe fly pie. They have like a whole lot of eggs in them. Just not the same. And it's not like you're eating every day. It's a holiday treat. And it's a cup and like 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Yeah, 3/4 of a cup of sugar in the whole pie. Don't worry, I can ignore that right now, the oven, because that's just preheating to the next level, because I only toasted the bread at 350, but the pies cook at 375. I have done 2 at a time when I got a bunch of orders one year, and you can double this recipe to do the filling for 2 at a time. I wouldn't do more than that though, because then the volume, when you're boiling the main part of the filling, gets to be a little bit of a problem. Okay, so that's all melted together. I'm going to take it off the heat and start this. Now, to measure corn syrup, I need a cup. Spray oil. That way it slides out. I mean, I'll still be using a spatula anyway, but it's not going to screw up your measurement so much. You don't have to worry about it getting stuck in your cup. It's good for a lot of things. Honey, you know, anything sticky that you're measuring. You can do it with tablespoons too, obviously. So there's that. Never enough table space, right? Or counter space. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get this on here because it's still on a little bit of low heat. And then 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I'm using Merino pure cane sugar. I'm sure growing up it was only ever just white sugar, and I've used white sugar. Doesn't really affect the chemistry, and that's the important part of this pie. I had someone ask me to make a sugar-free one this year. I had to say no. I'm sorry, Barney, I love you, but the chemistry of getting the texture right on this pie will not allow it. If I have time, I'll develop something. Like I said, like something like a shoe fly pie that uses eggs to coagulate. And then I could use Splenda or something as a sweetener with the cocoa or the baker's chocolate. If I have time, I will invent something for my friend, but I don't feel right saying yes, I'll sell it to you until I've done some recipe testing to make sure it works. So for this, yeah, that's it for now. I use a whisk to get this incorporated. I'm going to turn it up a bit because what we're doing is we're going to bring this to a simmer. And feel free to pipe in with any questions you might have. I should have had Leanne come over and help me, but I'm sure she'll watch this stream and maybe she'll start making her own. I mean, I hate to lose the income, but everybody should learn to make. When you really, really like something, it is really satisfying to learn to make it on your own, and also a great expense saver. So, a couple of things here. I'm going to go ahead and toss the pecans now, because you just toss them in vanilla and then they'll go on the top at the end. Just a cup of pecans. I'm not going to do the placing them all very prettily, I'm sure. Every pecan picture you ever see on the internet has, you know, these spirals of pecans. I'm not doing that. I've done that once. I don't care enough. The other thing is I used to mix the pecans into the pie mix and into the filling mix, and it works, but it's better to just put them on top to prevent scorching because of all the sugar on the pecans. So, you know what, I'm not going to use my teaspoon for this because I want to use it for salt. But about a capful is about a teaspoon, and this isn't a really specific measurement. Hey, Jess. Oh, I love pecans too. I don't think they're my favorite. I would say cashews are probably my favorite nut. And I think pecans are next, and then maybe hazelnuts. I'm just tossing these in vanilla. You can toss them in rum or bourbon if you like. If you want to reflect something I learned about called a Kentucky Derby pie, which is kind of like this, but all the recipes I saw were like the chocolate pecan pies that disappointed me. They were just pecan pie that somebody threw chocolate chips in. Not good enough. I sold this for a holiday to a friend of mine a couple years ago, and I got the best compliment back that I've ever had on it, which was his dad tried it and said, "Oh, this is a game changer." And that made me pretty happy. Okay, what's next? Eggs. So, 3 eggs. I'm going to beat them up with a little salt. This is all in prep for getting that pie mixed together after we boil this so that it becomes the lovely texture when it bakes that is expected. It's a combination between the eggs and the sugar getting to the stage we boil it to. So it comes out nice and smooth, almost, well, like pecan pie filling. Have you ever had pecan pie? Sometimes it's not perfect. Sometimes you don't pour these together perfectly and your eggs get little bits, but still delicious and not the end of the world. Still melting. But I need another whisk. Where's my other whisk? Piggy house. Here I am to save the day. Salt. So you just beat these eggs up with a teaspoon of salt. Which you can almost always do with eggs. Add a little salt. It really helps them break up and beat better, and just about anything you're going to put in is going to need it. So Jess is somebody I would normally, well, I've been gaming with on Monday night sometimes, but we're not doing that tonight. So I'm going to make pie. So yeah, just fully incorporated. This isn't something you need to beat so that it's going to add any volume in particular later. It's just for structure. Oh, okay. You see this? This over here, because this is the important part. So it's starting to simmer. So what we want to do is get it so it's up to simmering even when we stir it. It doesn't just completely disappear. And then we're going to start timing, because you simmer it for 2 minutes. This has worked reliably for me for decades, and I'm sure my mom before that, because even in the recipe it says simmer 2 minutes. It doesn't have a soft boil, hard crack stage of sugar. No one's ever used a sugar thermometer for it, or a candy thermometer for it. I broke mine the other day, or I would have done that. Eventually I'll do that. So this is what we're looking at. See, the bubbles aren't just disappearing when I stir it. So Alexa, set a timer for 2 minutes. So when I was a child, my mom used to make this, and I love it. And then she quit making it because she was taking one out to the garage to cool and dropped it in her lap and had like 3rd-degree burns in a very sensitive area. So we didn't have that pie anymore, and we were never allowed to wear Dr. Scholl's. Pie is a good idea anytime. Pie is the best breakfast. And I moved away to Florida. I grew up. It took me, I think, good 15 years after I moved out to talk her into giving me the recipe so I could make it. And I've been doing it ever since. Not every year, but pretty much every year since I had my own family of children to make it for. Which, it's just so good. And now I don't know. Now it's my thing. It's supposed to be a big secret. Obviously, I'm putting it out here on the internet. Not a giant secret. I will put the recipe in my Discord as well. But then, the sitting down and actually making it, it's not something everyone wants to do. But that's kind of my mission here, right? You can cook. You can bake. Give it a go. Mistakes aren't the end of the world. Alexa, stop. Take it off the heat immediately. It's beautiful. Now I'm going to let this cool for just a minute or two, and then I'm going to put the melted chocolate in it. The reason I'm waiting a minute or two is so that it doesn't scorch super hard. I mean, it's still going to be hot enough that, it does make it a little more toasty, but the butter solids are still subject to actually burning. I've found if I put it in immediately, as soon as it quits simmering. So we're almost there. Now, the recipe, as written, goes on to say to let this filling cool enough that you can beat the eggs into it without scrambling the eggs. Sure, you could do that. I had done that when I started making it, and I think I didn't have as good a grasp on things like how tempering works. If you know what tempering is, it's bringing something to temperature gradually so that it doesn't cook the other ingredient, basically, when you're mixing hot things and not as hot things. So I do this instead I did the eggs in that big bowl, and I'm going to add a little bit of this mixture and beat it into those eggs, and little at a time until I can see it's tempered, it's combining, and I'll show you, in a way that the eggs aren't scrambling, basically. Look, it's already gorgeous. Oh, here. Look. Now you could just eat this, but don't. Oh, and be careful, don't taste it. Corn syrup and sugar boiled like that is hotter than your mouth can handle. If you absolutely can't resist, keep a spatula nearby and put some aside, and you can taste it in a little bit. Okey-doke. Oh, gosh, it smells good in here. And I'm going to move this trivet because it's warm, and we're not trying to cook our eggs. All right. I'm going to switch to back to the big whisk. It's going to glomp on to the whisk when I start this. And don't panic. That's fine. Again, part of the beginning of this is put a little bit and start moving it around. We're bringing the eggs up to temperature. And the eggs are bringing down the chocolate in such a way that it's getting goopy. And it's fine, because we'll do this at a speed where eventually it'll stop clumping like that. But if you whip the eggs up the side, you can see there's not any scrambled bits. And then I think one more time, put a little bit. And as the eggs come to temp with the chocolate, it will smooth out and all come together. And I think we're ready for that now. As you can see inside the bowl, there's still no scrambling because we successfully tempered our eggs and chocolate together. Like now there's even steam coming off the bowl. The eggs aren't cooking. They will, of course, cook when they bake with the pie, but by that point, it's all one thing. Use a spatula to get all of it out. Beauty. I also, did the math and altered the recipe a little bit to do little mini pies with little mini pie tins. And as much as I love the idea, you know, and then I could sell them at a market or hand them out to individuals when I go share. Because that's what I do with sweets a lot of the time. I take it and I go share them at the bar or whatever so that I don't eat too many myself. And it's too much work to do on the regular, but I mean, I can if I really want to, or if I were requested to for an event. Okay, so beauty. We are about ready to go. I'm going to run and fetch. I'm going to move my hot plate. I'm going to go fetch a crust and get her ready to put in the oven. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If you want to know where to find all my stuff, go to 9of12.com. That's NINEOF12.com. Look, there's a drop on the table. Here it comes the crust from yesterday. Wow, this is going to be a quick stream, isn't it? I feel like I just started. That's okay. That's also part of the mission here. I want to not be going forever. I talked to some folks about it Friday on game night, and I got some feedback that people are liking that. Instead of 4 or 5 hour streams, hoping you'll get to a recipe eventually. I want to just straight up demo stuff. So, in the pie crust, I made this yesterday. It's been sitting in the fridge. You can use a deep dish one if you want. I have done both. This pie crust does another thing when it's in the oven. If you're watching it, don't panic, because it puffs up really big and then it simmers back down to flat. The surface tension created by the pecans, it kind of like bowl up and go right back down. So, but I've never had one overflow. Again, I guess the surface tension helps, but I don't have to put it on a tray or anything. And sprinkle on your pecans. Doesn't matter if they get a little sugar on them. Like I said before, if you missed it, I would not mix them in with the filling. And of course, you can get really OCD and place them all perfectly, but if you just dump them in, they want to go, you know, they want to be spread out. It's not as hard as you would expect. And the filling's cool enough to poke at it with your fingers at this point because of the mixing with the egg. So what do you think? Boy, it smells good in here. This is going to go in a 375 oven for 35 minutes. I'm going to do that right now. Maybe I'll just hang out till it's done to show you. I hope that was the real Pyrex. But I have refrigerated my crust before, so it shouldn't be a problem. I have some Aldi pie plates that I bought last year that, as usual, my pie plates didn't come back, so I'm using those now. I wouldn't always recommend taking stuff straight from cold to hot unless you've tested your glass for being friendly to it. You want to get water in this chocolate stuff. It doesn't take that long to just dissolve. Pardon me. I thought about, while the pie was cooking, stuffing that pumpkin I've been talking about, but I still don't know when exactly I'm going to do that. I did pick up all the ingredients. I usually make my breakfast sausage and put it in the stuffed pumpkin, but I think I'm just going to use bacon and Swiss and of course stuffing this year. But it's another adaptable recipe that, oh, there's an ad. 40 more seconds. Okay, well, those of you that don't see the ads, at least you heard me. For those of you stuck in ads, hopefully you are watching so I make money. I'll put some stuff away. Are you here? You'd be like, that's not pie. Did I use this? Yes, vanilla. I use that for the pecans. Oh, being klutzy here. Not fair. Is everybody back? I don't know. Twitch is not very good at telling me if you are. But I guess I'll hang out and have some chili while we wait for the pie to be done, because I do want to show you the final result. I won't be tasting the pie because it will be hotter than the dickens when it comes out of the oven. So yeah, I mean, fuck taking damage for content. I could probably whip up another one. It would still just be like the hour, right? Not today. I made chili today. I had pack of ground beef thawed that needed to get used. And I have a lot of canned beans. I usually use red kidney, dark red kidney beans in particular, but I had these turtle beans that they had given me at the food pantry. Okay, good to know, you're back. And I was curious about how different they were from your average black bean, and they're basically not. But I used those in some pintos, and I added a little chipotle powder to give it a smokier profile than I normally go with. I make chili all the time. And I had some fresh tomatoes to add because my friend Lori went to visit my friend Francis in Wisconsin and brought back, like, she had all these late tomatoes, and these were given to me so I could make fried green tomatoes, and I didn't do it quick enough. So they're turning ripe. I put a fresh one in chili, but I'm a little bummed. We'll wait until I'll do fried green tomatoes on stream, almost certainly, when they're in season next year. This is something I really love. My son Victor, he likes them too, but he doesn't live here anymore. So I would be making it just for me. But at least it's something I can make in a small amount. Because it's not going to freeze very well. Do you have a favorite pie? They're not really good. It's quite different than my chili usually is. Maybe I should enter it in a cook-off, because I did not do great in the cook-off, the chili cook-off I went to here in the South. People apparently in my area like their chili cooked for days. Like, it's kind of like the winters were this not discernible, chunks of meat or chunks of tomato in it, and I do like to have different textures going on. Theirs had been simmered into like one uniform mass, the ones that everybody judged to be better. To each their own is fine. It would have been nice to win somebody, but I did not. So I think that's the only time I ever entered a cooking contest and didn't win something. So I don't know if any of my Twitch folks here have gone to visit my YouTube. But yeah, I have. I guess I'll announce it here now. I talked to my eldest son, who loves to cook. I've talked about that before. About my cooking stream and that I'm doing this now. Yeah, I get the beadless chili thing. That's a whole different thing to me, though. Like, if it was at a barbecue contest, like, that's the kind of chili I would expect, I guess. I'm sorry, my glasses are dirty. But anyway, I was telling Connor I got the stream going, and I hadn't really talked to him about it yet. I mean, I think he knows because I've been talking about it for years on and off. It's something I wanted to do. But then I had it up and running, and he had so many questions, how I was doing it, what kind of, recipes, what my philosophy was, how long they were and stuff. And he said to me, And I was at my friend's Lori's, because her kitchen is better to host TVZ Gun's daughter to do some baking again. When I was talking to Connor, it was his 30th birthday, and he said, "You know, you could, when you come visit, stream in our kitchen." They have a nice kitchen. They have an island and stuff. So yeah, we started talking about that. Had a little further brainstorm to do. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do, but I have that just made me so happy. That really made my day. That he wants to do that with me. He was interested in what I'm doing, right? And he watches a lot of food streamers, but it's kind of like YouTube and going to find out how to learn something. And I don't, I assume he has a Twitch account, but um, so next weekend, which will be, I don't know what, it's Wednesday, oh, it's Monday. So at the end of the month, a couple days after Thanksgiving, I'm gonna go to Raleigh, and I'm gonna take my whole rig, and provided we get it all set up there, we're gonna be streaming something together. I'm not sure what yet. I told him we could just do his burrito prep. That if he wants, I've done that with him before when I've been visiting. He does really good breakfast burritos, and he preps like a whole shit ton at the same time, and then freezes them, and that's kind of their everyday go-to for breakfast. On the run, on the way to work, on the way to the swim school that his wife owns and runs, or they own. I don't know. I don't know the details of that, but Connor's the one that cooks. She doesn't cook. I know that. So we might do that. We might do something else. We may recreate, and that's why I was mentioning the YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, and I don't know how many years ago it was. I was going to look it up and I forgot before I announced this. Is when I won a case of pasta from Dreamfields Pasta for a recipe I sent in. They offered me another case of pasta if I would make a video that they could use for advertising. And so I had recruited Connor for that. I was like, "Hey Connor, let's do this together. Like, you can make it and I'll film you." And oh, I can't believe how technology has grown. I think it was like 20 years ago by the look of it. Video on my phone now is better than that was, and it was like a Sony Handycam. But the video that we made for Dreamfields is still on my YouTube channel. If you want to go see Super Califragilisticexpialidocious, I ended up naming it. I think I didn't even name it until I did the video. But it's a pasta recipe with artichoke hearts and sun-dried tomatoes. And like a chiffonade of fresh basil on it. And yeah. So it'll be really, really neat to cook with my boy again. I'm really happy with this. It's so different than my chili normally tastes, just from the different kind of beans and the chipotle powder and everything else I did pretty much the same. I always add extra cumin. I don't know about y'all. Chili powder is a great go-to. And I usually buy chili powder, but I will probably do a homemade chili powder when I do a show where I'm making spice blends. Because I never buy taco seasoning anymore. I've got everything in the house. And I couldn't find the chili powder right away. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just make it. And I was trying to remember everything in it. And I think I have everything. That was another discussion that happened at Friday night game night. I don't know if it was last week or this week, because There's trivia about chili powder. I think it was in, what's the Trivia Murder Party, the Jackbox game we were playing. And it was multiple choices, that is, and you have to pick the ones that are blends. And folks in other countries were being insistent that chili powder was just ground chilies. So there's like a really, what we refer to as chili powder is indeed a blend, and it's different than powdered chilies. And the spelling isn't a good help to clarify it, because some people use an E, and some use an IE, and some use an I. But basically salt, onion powder, paprika, cayenne, and cumin. And cumin is kind of that secret, what makes it taste like chili, that people, until they start cooking, don't know, and is wonderful to discover, because cumin works in other things as well. Shadowing. I think lights need to be on my thing. My throne wish list had a lighted camera on it, but I decided to not go that route, although I could mount it overhead, and that might not be a bad thing. I definitely don't want a ring light in my face. I can't stand the creepy rings in your eyes. Just me? Connor's kitchen will have better lighting. The primary things I have to ask him are how we're going to get power to it, how we're going to get internet. I mean, we can use his Wi-Fi. I use Wi-Fi here. I am going to hardline connect it when I do the contest in January, because I'll be expected to be co-streaming with the people I'm competing with in Factual Foodie. And so I'll want to hardwire for that, so I don't run into, we're glitching. And I'll just have to see how Connor's connection is. And the other thing is power, because I don't think there's power on his island. And that's going to affect how I rig things up. I mean, I don't want camera cord going across between us and the oven either. And I feel like we're going to be doing most things on the oven and then the island. I'll figure it out when I get there. It'll be interesting to see how we pull that off with the little baby. Maybe Mom will take the baby somewhere. My grandson is going to be a year old on December 3rd, which is wonderful and beautiful and exciting. He's still a little bit little, but he's catching up, because he was born 11 weeks early. But he's doing great. The other wonderful part of conversation with my son was he was asking me kind of parenting stuff. He was concerned about attachments, and the baby's very, very bonded with him, and just a bunch of little things that I felt I was able to give, sound advice and help him relax about. And man, it's the best thing I've ever accomplished, is parenting my kids, because I guess didn't have very good lessons growing up. I had to break some generational cycles, and I've apparently do a good job, because they call me for advice, and then they listen. While we were on the phone, he also asked me for cooking advice. He was doing a sourdough, and he had never done a Dutch oven method. And so he sent me pictures of the 2 Dutch ovens he had, and wanted to know which ones he should use. And he had gotten a strip roast to make for his birthday dinner, and that's such a taking after me thing too, is making my own dinner. And he had never made a strip roast before, and so I gave him, a walkthrough and methods to get that done. And he sent me pictures later when he was finished with everything, of his successes, Like, thanks for the advice, Mom. I love you. Like, and now if we could get our 20-somethings and, to text back immediately or within a couple of weeks, that would be great. But the rest of this, I'll definitely take it. I can smell the pie. There's a difference. Like, at first I was just smelling the chocolate and the filling that we cooked here. And now I can smell the pie baking. I'm probably going to have to wait until Wednesday to make ours. Because if I make it tomorrow, or if I made it today, Rob would probably get into it before Thanksgiving. And I guess that's not a bad thing, but I like to have it to look forward to. My cutting board needs conditioning again. I know one of my spoons does. Hey, this is the wrong baking scraper. It's not the one with my name on it. Along with giving away cookbooks, I think that's another thing I want to do is I need to make a logo of some kind for this stream. Or even if I just put Dine with 9, and maybe make some of these that I could give out now and again, if folks would like to have them. Of course, if it were prizes, I could do people's names on them. I have to actually go get another blank that's not all scraped up from use tomorrow or the next day to make one for my friend Lori. I heard a ding. Sorry. I'll clear these messages out. I didn't bring my phone over here to the stream, so I don't know if anyone's messaging me. Hopefully not. Rob took our son Fletcher to work. Oops. I figured that would be a good time to stream. If Rob wants to play a game or something. He won't be interfering with me, and I won't be interfering with him. What else? I don't know. I think maybe I'll make an apple pie this Christmas, but I can only do it if I'm going to have guests for Christmas, because otherwise I will eat it all. My grandmother used to make, like my mom used to make the chocolate pecan pie, but Grandma used to always make apple pie at Christmas, and you're always too full from dinner. And so it was pie for breakfast. And pie for breakfast is great. Apple pie with my homemade bacon. It's heaven. It's heaven. It was really good with the cider donuts I made the other day. I'm feeling kind of bad that I didn't come here and share that with y'all. And I promise I didn't do it because it was a new thing and I might fail. I will do things here that are a new thing and might fail. Even though this isn't a new thing, sometimes it fails. It was just busy and I was doing things at once that didn't seem to go together. I had to get the apple cider out of the fridge to make room for the turkey, so I reduced it to make the donuts, and then I found this bag of broccoli I forgot about, and I made a broccoli soup, which was also, I just made it up as I went along, which is a little harder to do with this setup, to make it up as I go along, because I'd be getting up and down, and I still cannot get that lav mic working with this setup to be able to talk to you when I go run into the kitchen for things. So that's not quite ideal. But I'll be doing the same kind of methods. Maybe I'll do donuts sometime. I do want to try some different flavors now that I have the donut pans. And as far as the soup, I plan to do an episode with like bechamel, basically a cream sauce, a basic one, and talk to y'all about the different things you can make with that. I know I've mentioned that a few times already, but I'd love some feedback if you come in the Discord about what recipe I should do when I do that episode, because there's a lot of things I'll talk about you can do with a bechamel. But should I do a macaroni and cheese? Should I do scalloped potatoes? Should I do a creamed soup? That broccoli soup was really good, and I only had just like a little bit of the tail end of some cheese I was throwing in. It wasn't a full. This place looks naked here. I have another butternut. It wasn't a full, on broccoli cheese soup, but I'd seen on the internet somebody was saying that who's the yelly guy? The chef who's always yelling at people, but he's really nice to children. Yeah. Anyway, he's got a recipe out there. I haven't looked at it, but I heard he's got a broccoli soup recipe that's like just broccoli. And I kind of want to figure out what's going on there. But it gave me the confidence to go ahead and just do a cream sauce and do the broccoli and use a stock. I actually used vegetable better than bouillon and just added some water, and it was really good flavor. And I just had some little tail ends of cheese I threw in at the end. It's a really good soup. I just ate it. I just finished it today for lunch. So I also don't know what I'm going to do with this butternut. I was probably going to make another batch of the soup because I love it so much. It's another thing that came up in conversation with my son Connor, because I told him I had done the soup on stream, and he's, Mom, I still make that soup. Once in a while, I just have to have it. So that made me happy too. Now that we have I'm thinking mac and cheese is a good call. Thank you for your suggestion, Stormy. It was just going to be me and Fletcher and Rob for Thanksgiving, and I'm doing a green bean casserole, but I'm the only one who will eat that, so I just make a little bit. But we had a bonfire the other night, and my friend Beth doesn't have somewhere to stay, so she's coming. So maybe I'll cut up, maybe I'll make half of this for me and Beth to have with our turkey dinner, and then save the other half for more soup. Actually, Stormy, send me your butternut squash soup recipe. If you use a recipe, if you have. I think I want to try a different one. I have a hard time making a different one because, I really like the coconut milk one. But I'd love to maybe try your recipe. Not maybe. I'm pretty sure I'll look at it and want that. Cool. You can put it right in the recipes section of my Discord, if you like. If you don't mind. I mean, you can DM it if it's a secret. But if it's not a secret and you want to share it with the class, we did talk about it here. So that would be a cool thing to add. All right, let me go. I'll ask Rob. Rob just came in, I think. I can ask him to look at the timer. And yeah, put a trivet here. And get the tomatoes away because you want to expose them to heat. Rob? Yeah? Can you look at the timer on the oven for me, please? Yeah, just a sec. I wonder what fast food. He didn't get home till way after taking Fletcher to work. I wonder if he got fast food instead of eating what I left out for him. There's an ad starting in 1 minute and 32 seconds. So I guess the pie reveal will be after that. We'll have to hold off, I think.
7 minutes.
7 minutes left on the pie. So, yeah, if we're going to do the reveal, I guess it'll be after that. Oh, it's awkward. I should have made the stuffing for the pumpkin. You know what? 7 minutes. Can I whip it up in 7 minutes? Let's try. Pumpkin. If I can't, I don't know what's gonna happen. What? Oh. He's talking to the cat. He's silly. This is crazy, right? I don't want to do this right now, do I? Not a secret. Okay, some people are super secret about their recipes. They just are. I've never been. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow instead. I guess when we come back from break, you'll find out. Yeah, no. So I don't have the recipe in front of me and I didn't bring any of my devices. And this is a cool little pumpkin though. It's so cute. And it's not starting to have any problems yet, so I got a little time. I suppose I could make it for Thanksgiving for me and Beth too. That would be like a really awesome presentation thing to have with Thanksgiving dinner. Although it's a whole meal in itself. Oh, but if I make it for them, I can just send it home, like half home with her, because I'm the only other one here that'll eat it. Ideas.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's not my fault he won't fucking eat me. Normal people eat chili. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's not abnormal. He's got fucking armpit. But it sure would be nice. I'm getting out the good pot holders. My newest pot holders are my Nightmare Before Christmas ones, and they've got silicone parts on them. All my other ones like that are either little grabby ones, which are kind of dumb, or I wore them out. Is there a kitty being silly? Oh, where'd you got a laser pointer?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
Walmart. It was like $6. I had cash.
You went to Walmart to get a laser pointer?
Yes. I was thinking about it like since yesterday.
Dad. Rob didn't think he liked cats when we got married, and now he is the cat dad.
Okay, she got bored.
You're such a cat dad. I think she's having a little problem.
Oh, she was Jason.
I know.
Yeah. Now she's just annoyed.
You need to be careful. She's old. Give her a stroke. Did I use all these? I did. Hey, I guess we're back because I don't have a little display anymore. Right? Pie's gonna be done in just a few minutes. We're just waiting on a pie. Does anybody know if the put them in a paper bag trick works with tomatoes? I mean, I can just leave them out here where they get sun and they'll continue to ripen, but it'd be worth it if I could time it better. I'm already sad I didn't get my fried green tomatoes. Here, will you put this in the fridge, please? Okay, thank you. It's getting warm in here, so it's getting, melty. I got cheater whipped cream in a can this year, just because we're still a little short. The new checks aren't coming in, and I was doing the Thanksgiving shopping with the rent, the $50 Fletcher gave us for rent, and it was cheaper to get a can of whipped cream than to get. They didn't have the small things, the half pints of heavy whipping cream. They only had like pints and or quarts. Yeah, quarts. 2 pints and a quart. They didn't make pints, they only had quarts, and I need a whole quart. Yet I'm gonna need some. Oh, I couldn't do that stuffed pumpkin. I'm glad I didn't cut it open. That takes cream. Although I generally substitute with half and half, and then we'll use that with, coffee or whatever anyway. But I usually hand whipped cream to put on the chocolate pecan pie. It's just a great accompaniment. And you can just have it unsweetened, you can sweeten it, you can put some booze in it, or vanilla in it, whatever you want. I like it with just the teeniest bit of sweetening. Or a little bourbon. Or this.
T-minus 20 seconds.
Ginger brandy. Oh yeah. It's good in your eggnog. It's good in your cider. And it's good in your whipped cream. Okay, the pie is seconds away, folks. I get out my trivet. And I won't forget to take a picture this time. So I gotta get my, I don't know where my phone is. Get this out. You can see it's puffed up. When you see it's puffed up, move the camera to the side. It's puffed up like that. It will settle down to flat across, where it'll look like, your average pecan pie that you see in a store or wherever. And I'm gonna go find my phone. To take a photo. I'm gonna take a photo. To use as the cover image for this. I hope that the puffy isn't. It's hard to do this. This is another reason I need a light. It's trying to take pictures and I'm casting shadows on my pie, but I think I've got one that's decent. So maybe I'll take a picture and when I cut into ours for Thanksgiving, I'll try to remember to take a picture so that you guys can see the crust. It is delightful.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
What? I don't know what she thinks I asked her. Anyway, so you can see the crust from, a side angle after it's cut, because I did demo those for everybody the other day, although I did not do a good job keeping track of which one was which, and I've got a pie in each, so I'll ask Leanne to get a cross section too, so we can see if there's any difference in the completed cooked crust. But oh, it is beautiful, it is delightful, and it is my opinion that it is the most delicious pie in the world. It was worth all the begging to get the recipe, and now I have it to hand down to others and to teach to others. And sometimes I make a couple bucks to help support Christmas, because people will buy these pies from me sometimes. Yes. Well, I am glad you came, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you try this, and I hope you come to Discord and let me know. I'm going to sign off for now, and I look forward to cooking with you soon.